Hi everyone, hope you are feeling positive and healthy. Please subscribe with all bell notifications if you haven't already. And please don't hesitate to leave your valuable feedback and advice below. Thank you very much. Let's jump into the stories. My girlfriend tried to push me off a cliff as a joke. My girlfriend, 20/F, is completely crazy, but mostly in a good way. Spontaneous is an understatement. Sometimes she goes too far, but I love her for her crazy personality. I, 18/M, am more relaxed and we balance each other out. Two recent incidents really freaked me out though and I need advice. I was driving on the highway with a lot of traffic. We were going maybe 40 miles per hour. She suddenly started tickling me and wouldn't stop when I yelled at her. I jammed on the brake and someone almost hit us from behind. I asked her what the F is wrong with her, but she just laughed about it and told me to chill. I said, what would make you want to do that? And she said, I'd just felt like it. Then last Saturday I was hiking with her and I was standing near this steep cliff. I'm usually wary of her because you never know what she's gonna do even though it's usually just a prank or something. I let my guard down and she went behind me and pushed me towards the cliff and I swear I almost fell off. She did it hard and I ended up right at the edge. She was laughing so hard. I freaked out and started screaming at her and I may have been out of line. But holy crap, she laughed about it at first. But then she started crying and saying she was so sorry. The next day she started texting me saying that she didn't mean any harm and she just didn't know that I would get so mad at her for doing that. Am I crazy for even thinking about this? Is it possible she's just immature and if I get back with her she'll be different? I'm kind of lonely and I really love her. But this really made me rethink the situation because now I feel like she's legit crazy, not just fun crazy. Thanks for your advice. Brew, she tried to kill you, twice, then proceeded to laugh about it. The next time you might not be here to tell the story. Your GF has a serious problem, especially seeing you say she gave an allergic friend nut species she thought was funny is just frightening. This is not normal. This isn't even considered crazy personality. She has serious mental issues that need to be professionally addressed. Update. My girlfriend tried to push me off a cliff as a joke. Original thread. Link 1 in description. I've been thinking a lot and I decided that I'm ending my relationship with her. This isn't easy for me. It's hard because I've been with her for almost 2 years. But it's even harder because now I feel a ton of guilt myself as I remembered things that I ignored, and how I was only worried about her after I became the victim. I mentioned that point in the other thread, but I feel even worse about it now. I know I was stubborn in the last thread, but I listened to everyone's advice very carefully. You all helped so much. When people brought up the sadism aspect, it sort of clicked. I don't know if it was stupidity or selfishness, but I didn't think of her that way until this week. I just ignored everything she did. I thought about some memories using this new perspective. I remember early this year her dad got her a job at the front desk at this apartment complex. It's hard to explain this place because it was sort of a luxury place and most apartments aren't like this. But I was there once or twice to pick her up and I remember what the building looked like. There were a lot of older people living there and right near the entrance of the building there was an elevator which only went up. Then there was the main elevator which was kind of far down a long hallway. She had to call that first elevator down after the person was approved to go into the building. One time me and her were smoking and just chilling talking about stuff. She was laughing to me about how she would sometimes disable the up elevator and pretend it was out of order. And then she'd watch these older/handicapped people walk down this long hallway to get to the main elevator. She got fired pretty quickly anyway because she activated the fire alarm when there was no fire. When they asked her what happened she pretended that the computer was glitching and she couldn't stop it, but they believed she did it on purpose so they fired her. I'm sure some people could have been injured during the chaos. I guess the alarm must have disabled the elevators so everyone had to grab their stuff and run down the stairs as quickly as possible. I can imagine all these elderly people going down so many flights of stairs. I don't think anyone was injured, but they did fire her and maybe they're still investigating. I don't know if it could help, but I'm gonna call that place and tell them what she told me and how she admitted to pulling the alarm on purpose. That will help my conscience out a lot. Like I said, I feel terrible about ignoring this stuff. You might think I'm an idiot or a terrible person myself. I don't know what to say. But when I really thought about this stuff, I decided I couldn't be with her. I know people will criticize me and that's fine. This is an update, but also a confession tbh because I have to get that off my chest. And there's a bunch of other stories too that she told me or that I saw myself. I enjoyed her craziness tbh even though I was always on edge, but I thought of it as her being fun and spontaneous instead of sadistic. I guess I'm pretty weird myself. I responded to her texts this morning because she was starting to get angry and was sending a lot more texts. I told her I was really sick and thought she shouldn't be near me, but that we might be able to hang out again in a week or two. I said I wasn't mad at her anymore and I just didn't respond because I was sick. I just told her that to get her off my back and to give myself time to prepare for the breakup because I don't know how she's gonna react and I want to be safe. For example, she has keys to my house and I'm living with other people including kids, so I want to change the locks and make sure we're not tied together in any other ways before I do an official breakup. Do you think that's a smart idea? I could use any advice on the best way to do a breakup in this situation because I'm kind of worried. Once again, thanks so much for all your advice last time and have a good day. I think that this girl is actually crazy and you should do what you can to protect yourself. She sounds like a narcissist or sociopath. For example, she has keys to my house and I'm living with other people including kids, so I want to change the locks and make sure we're not tied together in any other ways before I do an official breakup. Definitely do this. 100%. If you're renting, notify your landlord. If you own the property, we paid to have our house rekeyed when we bought it and I think it cost us $150. She sounds crazy, so definitely get your ducks in a row before you drop the hammer. Tell your roommates about what's going on, at least to the point that you're breaking up and she's no longer allowed around the apartment. If she gets crazy over text, save copies. Definitely never be alone with her again. I'd recommend not even seeing her in person unless it's absolutely necessary. No shame in breaking up with her over the phone if you think she'll be unpredictable or violent. Also freeze your credit reports in case she knows your information. Final update. My girlfriend tried to push me off a cliff as a joke. Well, it's over. I officially broke up with her. I sent a short text earlier today. I wasn't mean. I just said it wasn't working out and we should both move on. She was surprisingly very understanding. She was emotional at first, but I know, despite our differences, that she does love me. When she saw how I felt, and when we talked about it in more detail, she was convinced that the breakup was best for both of us. We talked on the phone and I could tell that her feelings were 100% genuine. I know her so well and I'm really gonna miss her. Before this conversation though, I did a bunch of stuff just in case something went wrong. I tried to change the locks, but I didn't want to tell my parents about this because I knew they'd get pissed at me. I couldn't do it without their permission, but now I see it was unnecessary to do it. I also told some friends what was going on, changed my passwords, and I tried to close one bank account that we both have access to. It didn't work, but whatever. It doesn't matter now anyway since she's being so good about all this. I'm so happy that it's over and that we won't have any major problems. She reminded me about an old Chromebook that she had left at my house. It's been there for months and I forgot all about it. That's the only valuable thing she has in this house, but she's gonna come over in an hour or two and pick it up. Then we'll say our final goodbyes. While she's here, she's gonna give me back the house key. I told her I needed it to give to a neighbor. I won't lie, I cried earlier today and I'm still very emotional. I know this is the right thing, but it's so hard. I could have left the Chromebook outside the house or mailed it to her, or whatever, but I want to see her one more time. I want to hug her again. She loves my little bro and he's always so excited to see her. I want her to make him laugh one more time. I just want a proper goodbye and to make sure we're on good terms. The last time I saw her in person I was furious and she was crying. I have ended the relationship. I won't go back now, but I can't leave it like it was. After today it'll be no contact. I'll update you when it's over just so you have the full story of exactly how it went. To address some other stuff, I mentioned in the last thread that I was going to report her to her former workplace for how she admitted to abusing those handicapped people and pulling the fire alarm. I decided against it because she's already been fired and I'm pretty sure the management of that place has moved on. I don't want to report her trying to push me off the cliff either because it might just make her seek revenge in some way. A lot of people wanted me to find the allergic person who she gave nuts to and file a report about that. But I don't even know that person's name. She might not have even told me, but I don't remember anyway. I have a lot of incidents I could go to the police with, but honestly I'm so happy that our breakup will be smooth, and I don't want to make it worse. Maybe I'm selfish, but at least for now I'm gonna avoid taking legal action. Also, in all honesty, I don't think she's too far gone. I think she can change and I hope she does change, and doesn't need to get in trouble to become a better person. I know she can do it because deep down, she is a good person like we all are. Thanks for all the support. What a crazy time in my life. But I'm glad I got past it. I appreciate everyone's help so much. I couldn't have done this without all your advice. I just can't thank you enough. Why I got a feeling this ain't over. Anyone? I feel like this could be a troll setting us all up for the final update that she attacked him with a knife and the police were called, etc. I hope I'm wrong, and if this is all legit, To be honest, I understand OP not wanting to make it more complicated by reporting her. A clean break from a crazy person is a miracle. I wouldn't f up the chance either. My 25 years old female fiancés, 34 years old male, mom, grandmother and aunt just told me even if he does marry you it won't be permanent and there will be no children because white girls are a phase for every African American man. What do I do? For some background, I have been with my boyfriend and now fiancé for almost 2 years. It was love at first sight. I love his kids and we almost never fight. Actually, the main problem has always been his mom. She has always been exceptionally cold to me. He always explained it away as she just wasn't used to me yet, and since she was a single mother who raised 4 kids on her own, she distrusts outsiders. The problem with this is that she is super warm to all his brothers' wives and girlfriends who are all African American, and his little cousin started dating a Filipina and his mom adored her from the first day she was around. We just had a family dinner and his mom was being so rude to me when she took the dish that I brought over on the back patio instead of with the rest of the food on the serving table to let it get ruined from the heat. I asked her politely if I had done something to her. She said let's clear the air and I was like finally, so she took me to her bedroom and sat me in a chair and then texted her mom and her sister to come in the room. Basically they surrounded me and told me that it was high time I understood that I was just a phase for her son and that all African American men go through a phase where they have intimate time with white girls. She advised me to stay on birth control because she would disavow any children we have and no matter what happens she will always be the bug in my fiancé's ear that he needs to move on. His grandmom and aunt said basically the same things. I was shocked into silence and tears just started flowing. She told me to compose myself and she told me just to sit there and not to embarrass myself by coming out with my face looking it like it was. I came out after maybe 20 minutes and barely ate. When we were on the way home my fiancé started getting so mad at me for not being social when I started crying again. He said that it was just his mom being his mom and I should not let her get to me. I asked him if he was serious and he was just going to let it go with her and not saying anything. He said that no, this was not an issue he was willing to discuss with her. I was so upset I asked him to drop me off at my parents' house, which he did without saying another word. What in the hell do I do here? Edit. Sorry, I had no idea this would blow up. To answer the most common questions. 1. Yes, he knew what they said. I made it very clear. I told him after he started yelling at me for not being social. 2. He has 3 kids from previous relationships. 3. I never really cared about the age difference. 4. He has not called and will not answer my calls. If he doesn't have your back when his mother, grandmother, and aunt make you cry by spewing filth, he never will. I mean, this is blatant racism/bigotry. How would he respond if your dad sat him down and told him that his daughter wasn't going to marry a black man? Would you tell him, oh, it's dad being dad again? Teehee. The racism and intimidation is bad enough and hard to work through in a relationship. The fact that your fiancé doesn't have your back and tries to brush you off, pretends like this isn't an issue, act like you should ignore it and have thicker skin or something, that is disqualifying. Don't be with someone who lets his family intimidate you and acts like he doesn't care. My boyfriend let a family friend live with him, but she is trying to get him to sleep with her. So my boyfriend, as sweet as he is, heard about a family friend of his who was about to end up homeless because of the current world situation, so he decided to ask his roommate to let her live with him for a bit, and his housemate agreed. At first everything seemed to be fine. I had met her a few times and she seemed really nice, but one night my boyfriend's housemate told me how she had admitted to him that she didn't like me one bit and thought my boyfriend could do better. I was surprised to hear this and mentioned this to my boyfriend. He told me he would talk to her about it. He then told me that recently she had mentioned to him that if he ever needed a new experience she could help out as a thank you for letting her stay at his house. He did tell me that he has rejected her offer, but she keeps bringing it up and he keeps rejecting her. I'm not proud of this, but I texted his roommate later on when I was back at home if she could keep an eye on him in case anything happened. I mean, I do love my boyfriend and everything and never felt like I have had to doubt him before this, but I'm just being cautious for if anything happens. My boyfriend did end up asking her why she didn't like me or felt like she had to act different when I was around. She then demanded to know why he would say anything like this and if I had brought this up then I clearly had the problem. My boyfriend did defend me and then went on to tell her that his housemate had told me. Apparently she got really pissed off and started yelling at the housemate because I didn't need to know. My boyfriend actually told her if she wasn't happy with me being around she could stay somewhere else if I spend the night at his house. She didn't answer him after that, but has been keeping an eye on us whenever I'm around and has now started being rude to both me and the housemate now. Recently though, whenever we have a gaming sessions with our friends, she will come into my boyfriend's room unannounced and me and our friends can hear her with this cutesy nickname Maxie, which he hates, and she is all mushy and trying to talk all sweet to him and flirt, Even though he responds to her normally, she continues to do so. It really annoys me, not trying to sound jealous or anything. I have brought it up to him that maybe she shouldn't be there, especially if she is trying to sleep with him, and yet he tells me he doesn't want her to end up homeless, and she tells him she has nowhere else to go. I understand he is just trying to be nice, but I'm sure there is someone else who she could ask. I know her parents are around and she has siblings. So why is it so hard for her to leave? He did her a favor by sheltering her. If she wants to disrespect boundaries and be annoying after that, she deserves to go. If she continues to cross that line, she needs to be kicked out. By letting her stay, your BF is saying it's okay to disrespect you and your relationship. If she's getting free housing, she needs to respect you. I, 32/M, want us, 27/F, to have separate bedrooms. I'm making this post as a sounding board before I do anything else to see what others think about this. I understand from the title that you think that the relationship is bad and is going downhill, but I want to start off by saying that I couldn't be happier with the relationship. My issue is truly that I'm an extremely light sleeper, to the point that if she rolls over I wake up. I have inherited this from my mother that is exactly the same as me. Before we moved in together we only slept in the same bed on the weekend, so then it was fine that I didn't get so good sleep and woke up several times per night. But now we live together and have our bedroom and I have slept in it most nights, but on a rare occasion I have slept in the guest room and she was fine with it, at least what she tells me. But tonight was another bad night. I had a hard time falling asleep and I woke up on a few occasions as well, and I knew in my heart that if I could sleep in a room alone, then I would be happier. But here's the problem, she would allow me, I know it. She would never tell me no about things like this because she doesn't think that her desires should trump mine. However, and this is why I make the post, if I sleep in a room alone, I'm doing what she is not doing. I'm letting my desires trump hers. Because she likes sleeping in the same room as me, she has told me many times that she sleeps better with me than alone. So no matter what decision we make, someone is compromising their quality of sleep, and I do function after these nights, so I could just suck it up. What do you think I should do? Keep my desires to sleep alone to myself or express this to her? TLDR, I wake up so easily that I would prefer to sleep alone, but I know GF prefers to sleep together. I wish I had gotten to this post sooner. My wife and I have separate bedrooms. We love it. We started the practice while still dating and continued it into marriage. The master bedroom is where all of our stuff is. My clothes, her clothes, all our toiletries, intimate time toys, everything. We cuddle, and hang out in our nice big king-sized bed. Then around 10 p.m. I let the dog out and go to the guest bedroom. I have a gloriously firm queen-sized bed there. I keep no personal effects in the room. It is a full functional guest bedroom that I sleep in 5 nights a week. Weekends I stay in our bedroom unless we have pressing plans that would dictate me needing more consistent sleep for the weekend as well. This system works for us very well. I am a light sleeper and an early riser. We both get phenomenal sleep and it has not impacted our intimate time life at all. Even with the birth of our first child 5 months ago. It was especially useful as we were able to trade off nights for who would do the nighttime feeds, etc. In those early months where baby girl ate every 1 to 2 hours, formula fed. Anyways, if you want any tips on how to make the arrangement work, let me know. The key tenets are open communication, regular check-ins, like asking if we need more cuddle time, more frequent intimate time, etc. And a healthy sense of what you both want out of life/marriage/sex, etc. Also, some comments are mentioning how old people do this. For the record, we are early 30s, been doing it this way since our mid-20s. Try separate beds in the same room. Also, someone suggested melatonin. I use this as a sleep aid, shift work, and it works well for me. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more stories delivered to you. Thanks for listening. See you later.